Why are you the way that you are? Coffee snail. What? What is up, guys? Welcome back. Yeah, it's a trying new makeup video today. I have a bunch of stuff that's been kicking around for the last couple of weeks in some cases because of all that push to the sun at the end of the year. And so it's a bunch of stuff that I've been wanting to try on camera. I have no idea how this makeup look is going to turn out, but the main thing is this. This is the Patrick Ta, what is this thing even called? Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. It's been sold out for ages. You guys heard my whole sorry saga about it. And now it has finally found its way into my hands, so we're going to be using this today. I'm also just gonna be using some combinations of things that I've been wanting to do. But yeah, I also, as I typically do for this type of video, went onto my Instagram and I asked you guys to make me laugh. I said, you know, give me silly questions, whatever. I just kind of want to have a no bones day. I'm working from Robe today. And I'm gonna move y'all in and we're just gonna have fun and put some makeup on. And I will have some like final thoughts for you guys on some of this stuff because I've got some Kimiko blushes that you guys know have been bullying me. So let's go ahead and jump in. Hello. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do on my face is the combo that I've been wanting to try on camera of my kind of new favorite, the Chanel Healthy Glow Foundation and the Fenty Body Sauce, because A, this gives the makeup a beautiful finish, and B, I bought this in too light of a shade, so I have been using this lately. I have been loving the combination. My skin, we have extenuating circumstances. I'm not blaming this on the makeup. There's been a lot going on, okay? That's all I'll say, but that's roughly the proportions. And we mixy, and it looks like that. Wow, what a good match. It's virtually invisible because it's such a good match. I was gonna do a tepid takes and then I realized I am just not glib enough today for that. Plus, Hannah just did one and I recommend going and watching that one. She makes far better points overall than I would have been prepared to make on a day such as today. This week has blown by. It is already Thursday in my world and I'm just like, I'm in awe of how productive I've been able to be with my child in daycare again, because daycare got closed for like a week because of a COVID scare. And now that everybody is fine again and he's just back doing his toddler thing, I'm like, oh, I can go back to doing my grown-up thing. So yeah, extraordinarily useful little combination there. Just love it, love it, love it, love it. Someone asked me which I would prefer between this and Elisa Eldridge. Right now, this is the one I'm preferring because I would just want a little bit more coverage and it has a little more dry down and is like a little longer wearing, but that, you know what I mean? My preferences are gonna change in terms of that kind of thing, like coverage wise. So it's just mainly because I have just been enjoying a little bit more glam and I'm having some indiscretions between my child's fingernails choosing violence and, you know, my skin seeming to choose violence. The next thing I'm going to use is my Bare Minerals Bare Pro Concealer. I have something stuck in a moment when I go to blend. I will see what questions you guys had to offer. La-di-da. It like took me a second. I'm like reading through all of them and I was like, these are not normal. And then I remembered, you know, I had asked you guys to be silly. Well, you guys heard the assignment. Oh my God. I'm just like going down all of these and it just says, have you ever considered red and green nose studs like port and starboard? Why is that the funniest thing I've heard all day? Oh my God. Truth be told, I forget that I have facial piercings all the time. And I've been thinking, like, I keep talking about it. I've been thinking about getting tattoos and I'm just like, well, what would that be like? Would I, you know, feel totally different or hate it or whatever? And then I remember, like, I would probably forget it was there. Same way I forget everything is there. So yeah, this has been one of my favorite kind of super polished complexion routines lately. I just really, really dig the combo of all three of those just for a little bit more like summery glow. And then I have still been using the Chanel bronzer because A, I'm determined to make it work, but B, I actually think that it works really well when I'm not working against such high contrast with the Complexion. All right, all right, all right. Somebody needs to get me like a diving board that I can jump off of here. Please tell us about your secret green piercing. I can tell you guys about it. I think she means this. Is it a secret? It's a conch. Conch. Some people say conch. I am from Florida, where I know exactly what a conch is, and it is a gigantic snail. We'll start there. I'm using my monkey toes to grab a clean tissue off the floor. So maybe some of you guys will find this relatable. When I was in college, I took a lot of my frustration out by getting pierced. There was something very cathartic about it. I know that sounds kind of like BDSM or something. It was more of a control thing, I think, you know? And I have always enjoyed expressing myself through my appearance, and I just liked the idea of piercings. They're permanent, but not really, you know? Because like it's always gonna leave a tiny little hole or something, but it's not as permanent as a tattoo. Plus, I loved Kim, my piercer, at What's the Point piercing studio in Tallahassee. She was just kindred, freaking love her. And she had, you know, the best examples of piercings like on her face. And so I would be like, I want that, I want that, I want that. There was a kid, forgot his name, sorry dude, in one of my classes, and he had a piercing right here. And I remember that day he was really stoned. It was really funny. And I was like, oh, that's a really cool piercing. I want to get that piercing. And I literally just like blew off my next class and went to What's the Point, which was across the street from Florida State. And I was like, hey, Kim, I want this piercing. I want this hole punched in my ear. And she was like, oh, a conch piercing. And the way that she had it pierced was that you like slowly build weight on the ball that's attached. And she had made hers so big that it was like this big silver marble sitting in there like a pearl and an oyster, for another ocean reference. And I just thought that it was so cool. She kind of warned me. She was like, you know, you have to work up to it. It's a tough thing to have heal. And because it's a weird spot where you're kind of always coming in contact with it with like a phone or your pillow or whatever if you sleep on that side. And I was like,
yeah, I'm 20, punch the hole in my ear.
Wow. 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 I am a high pain threshold person, and that felt like a truck driving through my ear. It was so painful. That's why I always say when I'm doing my like Ana Luisa videos, I'm like, get an ear cuff. Just, you know what I mean? You do not need a hole punched there. So my process, I guess, was, you know, I tried to get it to heal, and I'll never forget my friend Tom walked up behind me. He worked at a restaurant that I was at, and he thought fit that day, for the only time in my entire life, and maybe the only time in his, that he would surprise me by flicking me in the back of the ear. I think I like, you know, almost bled out of my eyes and like peed myself. It hurt so bad. And I was like, Tom, oh my God, I just got that pierced. What in the heck are you thinking? He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm in blinding pain right now. So I had a tough time healing it for, you know, normal reasons and those kinds of reasons. And then I got a hoop put in it, which basically just like restarted the entire healing process over again. And eventually I just like lost my grit. And I took the piercing out. I think I tried to put it in a couple more times because I mean, this is when I was 20. We're talking like almost 15 years ago. I just never really could like muscle up and keep something in there because everything wanted to get hung on it. Cut to this past year. Gonna go with some Patrick Ta, some contour here. I wanted to get my nose piercings switched out because they were silver and everything else that I wear is gold, and I just wanted to be one bougie mood, as I always do. And I really like my piercer where I found him, and I decided to go back and get third piercings put here. So I have 1, 2, 3. And then I was like, I just want to buy jewelry for this. And they do such a good job where I went of like having super, super, super flat back jewelry. And so this has not bothered me at all. In the 15 years in between, nearly, there has always been kind of a running gag because like you could see daylight through my ear. It was a, what, like a 14 gauge hole? Something like that. I mean, it was big. Your cartilage, once you've punched that hole, your body doesn't like heal that again. It's just a hole. And so, yeah, my mom always joked that, you know, it's distracting to see daylight through my ear. And so I went with that, and man, I had just been in a green mood. I just like I just like green. I think it looks good with gold. And also I just think it looks good with my complexion. It's kind of a color that I don't mind, you know, having on at all times. And again, once something's installed, I kind of forget that it's there anyway, but I love it. I just love that little guy. So that is the story of my secret green piercing. Yesterday, my dog sharted while napping in my office during my Zoom performance review. Well, you're doing amazing, sweetie. Is your son like you were at his age? That's actually a really interesting question. And of course, I think it's interesting because I get to talk about myself. So he is very like me in a lot of ways. One way is like his kind of engineering mind. He constantly, like, you hand him something, he wants to understand how it works. He's really, really fascinated by light switches and ceiling, I mean, I know kids are just like into ceiling fans. Taking things apart and understanding like the mechanism of them and stuff like that. And I was very like that. I was very like, I liked to study things. I like to kind of seclude myself and go and like, you know, look and see what all the little veins on a leaf, or like watch a bug crawl or something. Like that was my kind of stuff. The thing that he's the most like my husband with apparently is this just sourpuss that he makes all the time. I mean, he just kind of started squinting at us a couple weeks ago. We're like, is he having trouble seeing? Like, what's going on? No, it was just the stepping stone towards him having this just like incredulous like look on his face. He's always like just judgy. And apparently that was like a very, very common thing that my husband did when he was a little kid too. The other thing apparently that I did a lot when I was a kid, my mother told me this, is that I walked around pretending to talk on the phone all the time. We don't put phones up to our ears almost ever in our house, but he came home from daycare doing that. He has, I guess, a lot of toy phones there. And so now everything, remote control, the cap to a Gatorade bottle, his hand, whatever, he just puts it up to his ear. And we're trying to teach him how to say hello. And so every time he puts something up to his ear, we go, hello. We're not quite there yet. He kind of goes, oh, but he does say bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's him like sassy bye-bye. And last night he said cat twice. He does things on command now. Like when I say, can you say mama? He'll go, mama. You know, he like understands what talking is. And he also understands like when I say, you know, can you say so-and-so? He'll go, it's a lot of that. I got a little carried away with my Gucci bronzer there. And I think we should just go ahead and jump into a little brow moment, and then we can do my eyeshadow. Why are you the way that you are? Coffee snail. What? What? So I ordered some stuff from Kimiko because Lisa Eldridge told me to. I ended up getting the super fine eyebrow pencil, and I got it in, well, I initially got it in black tea. I don't know why. I just clicked the wrong thing, and I wrote to them and I was like, hey, can I exchange this? And they were like, find another beauty lover who this works for and we'll just send you that. Like, no questions asked. They just sent me the coffee pencil, and I like it, but it doesn't have quite as much sort of creamy impact. It's much better for drawing fine lines, but I'm gonna try and get it to work. But what I have really, really been into, that I'll wait till I'm done with my eyeshadow to do, but I really like the clear brow gel. Yeah, it's really nice. It just kind of is a little time consuming. Is eating a booger the same as eating a poop? No, I've never eaten a poop. I've eaten a lot of boogers. Realize that the reason that like kids eat their boogers is because they're salty. I've gotten a couple of Simon boogers kind of inadvertently in my mouth. I'm like, whoa, why are they so salty? Like my boogers aren't salty like that. So I kind of forgave my young self for eating my boogers. And I mean, teaching my best friend in kindergarten to eat her boogers. I was like, no, you don't understand. This is fire, do it. And she was like, you're right, this rules. So yeah, I was an influencer even then. Like, I get it now. Man, their baby boogers are no freaking joke. I was doing the dishes last night and I went to pull my sleeve of my sweatshirt up. Something underneath my thumb was like really squishy and slippery, and I was like, what in the world is that? And I look, and I mean, just the biggest green booger. Who knows when Simon put that there? I just found it on my inner arm later, you know, after he had gone to bed. So yeah, no, I've never eaten a poop. Not to my knowledge anyway. So I would say categorically that they are different. Okay, I take back what I said. This is actually like really nice. I didn't have the patience for it before, I guess, but yeah, it's pretty great. I am though going to use a colored brow gel and my clear brow gel. It's just what I'm used to, you know? But this is super, super like matte, almost looks like a powder, you know, when you get it all done. I am planning to go to the city again soon, kind of when, you know, the weather clears up and my schedule clears up and stuff like that. And Ingrid told me about the Chanel Atelier, which I am so tempted to call the Chanelier, and how I can just go like try everything in a very hygienic way. And I think that might have to be a thing. And then Hannah was like, when can we go shopping together? And I'm like, you're in LA, but like, if you're ever not in LA, let me know. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Ooh, Desert Island 3 movie choices or TV. That's good. I like that one. I'm not like a super movie person because I'm sure some of you guys can relate to this. It's kind of a symptom of being a deep feeling person. I really can't separate movie and reality. And so if I see somebody hurting or like blood or something like that, like I can't tell my autonomic nervous system like that's not real, you know? I'm seeing it and I'm feeling it and my body's going to remember it as trauma, and so like I really am like very careful about what I watch. Okay, so I'm gonna start. So there are these 2 primers in here. I think that's what they are, right? I'm not totally sure. Someone explain it to me. I'm sure that someone knows because this has been around a while, but I'm just gonna start with the lighter one and prime. So you will find that any of my Desert Island picks, any movie pick really, is always going to be a little bit silly, you know? So I'm not even gonna like try and be cerebral here. I'm not gonna be like, well, Y Tu Mamá También, you know? It's one of my favorite movies, but on a desert island, I could live without it. I cannot live without Clueless. It reminds me where I came from. I think 1995 was a fantastic year for the human race. We got Empire Records. Look how pretty that is. I would just wear that. It's just like a good cream eyeshadow, right? Like, done, but not done. And I'm going to start by coating my whole eyeball in this one right here, which is pretty much, yeah, it's the only one that's that finish. It's like this shimmery, foily brown, but all the rest are like, all the rest of the shimmers, I should say, are almost like celestials. So let's see, what will my next one be? That like, if I'm gonna sit down and watch a movie, like what do I genuinely enjoy? I think that, you know, if it was TV, I would bring like the entire series of The Office. Mike and I have been watching it lately and it's just like so grounding. And it just kind of never loses its flavor because so much happens in each episode that you kind of don't remember that like the fire drill episode is also this episode or whatever. And like, I don't care how many times Angela says save Bandit and throws him into the ceiling, it never gets unfunny. So yeah, I mean, I think that the main thing that I would need if I were stuck on a desert island is laughter. It took me a minute to get my head around this palette because it's quite pigmented and the mattes are really, really serious. Like, they're not kidding around, and it's a little on the easily kicked up side, you know, like I'll show you. They kick up really easily. Can you see that? And so that's not a bad thing necessarily. You just gotta have it in mind because I ended up putting too much product on my eyeballs first time I used it. So I'm gonna go in with the Fairest Matte here. Oh, there is one more kind of shimmery shade and it's like the pearly highlight shade. But anyway, what would be another movie I could always watch or another TV show I could always watch? You know what I feel like is really underrated is Ally McBeal. Ooh, 30 Rock. 30 Rock. Yeah, I think I'd pick 30 Rock over Ally McBeal. 30 Rock is just, oh my God, Kimmy Schmidt though. Kimmy Schmidt is underappreciated. That show. The whole thing with Tina Fey is that like, you know, there's never been a laugh track, and I guess that's the same thing with The Office. There's no laugh track. And so there's just more time for rapid fire jokes. And so I think that that's why I like them so much, is because you catch something new every time, because you technically miss something like while you're laughing usually. And so each time you watch it, you kind of catch a little bit more because you end up like repeating everything after them. I mean, Mike and I, the amount of times we're just like, what am I, a farmer? The amount of things that I quote from 30 Rock. When brands are late to pay me, I will like always send Amanda this gif of Tina Fey being like, where's my sandwich? I don't know why. I don't know why. These are just the things that stick in my brain. Any honorable mentions? Probably Empire Records, that I have had, you know, memorized my entire life. I will pretty much always watch Empire Records when it's on. That's one that I quote all the time that I think people probably don't even know. Like when I say like, who knows where thoughts come from? They just appear. Like Lucas, I relate the most out of it. To anybody in that whole movie, I relate to Lucas the most. He's just kind of going through some kind of like Zen spiritual break, you know? And I genuinely appreciate that. Look at this freaking eye look. And I haven't even gone in with glitter yet. Do you have suggestions for Italy trips? Finally going on a belated honeymoon there. I mean, I haven't been all over Italy. I've just been to a few places. I've only been once, and we started on the French Riviera. Well, actually we started in Spain and then we went all down the Côte d'Azur and then into Italy. Italy was like our last stop, and Florence is everything. The Uffizis, just unbelievable seeing how the Medici just like put all of their money towards the arts, and I have a very, very large appreciation for that being a priority. And the whole like rivalry between Florence and Pisa is so funny. I preferred Italy to France just because of, not that that was your question, I just preferred Italy to France because the restaurants were just a lot more gluten-free friendly. People were nicer and people understood what the heck I was talking about. Drink the coffee, drink the wine, just drink the wine, just drink the wine. Even, oh yeah, if you're gluten intolerant, which you're not, you didn't mention that either. There is a chain there called Star Bene, and it is just an exclusively gluten-free bakery, and it is so good. I ate lots of croissants because I knew that I had to, right? You know, I wasn't gonna be able to. I mean, again, this is not in Italy. We only went to Florence in Italy, but we went to a place called Ez. I think it's like right next to Nice, and it's this little, I mean, it's a mountain that you climb, or you take a bus up there and then you kind of climb, and it's all kind of built into the mountain, and it's so pretty. And then there is this like strange like cactus garden at the top of the mountain. It's freaking awesome. But Nice is also really expensive. Like we went to Menton, and like I was able to get an apartment-sized hotel room at the top of this hotel that looked like it came out of a Wes Anderson movie with like Carrara marble, like floor to ceiling in the bathrooms for like $110 a night. Whereas like in Nice, it cost us like $40 to take a cab from like the airport to our hotel. It was like ridiculous. You know, it was like a 4-minute drive. So, but if you're looking to get excited about Italy, look no further than Stanley Tucci searching for Italy. It's, oh boy, just lovely. Just lovely. Okay, I am loving this eye look, but I do want to show you guys the Celestials here. I don't really know which one I want to use. They're all so pretty. Gosh, Patrick. So they're Celestials, but they're like, they're kind of a hybrid celestial glitter, so it's not just purely a scattered light thing, and they have a little more pigment to them. I'm gonna go for that peachy one. That's been the one that I've been diving into lately. Plus, if I do this one, it's gonna be way too similar to my last look with the Makeup by Mario palette. So I'm gonna build this up. It's a little hunky chunky. Like you kind of have to be careful. I recommend picking up a little bit and building as you go versus just trying to smack it all on at once. But the beauty is that you can really build them, or you can shear them out and they just kind of show the color underneath them if you shear them out. Yeah, it's a really, really pretty palette. I like it a lot. It is well-worn territory in terms of the color story, but the formulas are really unique. I had a towel. Khaki, you're wearing a towel. Yes, but I don't want to wipe my hands on it. Cleany, a little bit. Meep. Did anybody watch the new Matrix Resurrection? Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to start eyelinering while I talk about this because a girl could go off. So we watched it over the course of a couple of nights, and we stopped with about 45 minutes left the first night. It was really cool the first night. Somehow we managed to accidentally delineate the promising from the stupid. So the next night when we watched it, it just like got stupid in such a big hurry. Like I was just in disbelief. The plot holes, and I am not that person. I am so good at suspending disbelief and not analyzing something while it's like a movie. You know what I mean? Like I'm never that person who's watching a movie where I'm just like, but would that really happen? You know what I mean? Like I'm just not that friend. I'm that person who's just kind of like, yeah, that was neat. I mean, you know, it seems legit, you know, even if it's The Matrix. I did watch all the original Matrix movies several times. I even owned the prequel series that was like on, it was like an anime series of all the, I don't know, it was just supposed to be the pre-story, right, of The Matrix. I found the whole thing to be very fascinating. I like the idea that we're living in a simulation. I think it's funny. So the whole thing being that, you know, they have this fan base, right, of all these people who are like, who have idolized them and looked up to them, him and Trinity, Neo and Trinity for so long. And so it's very, very meta. Meta. Like it just keeps kind of like eating its own tail, like over and over and over again. That part I found to be kind of cool because I was like, okay, well, you know, they have to have a certain level of self-awareness, especially because the idea of living in a simulation is pretty meta to begin with. That part didn't bother me. It was really like the last 15 minutes of it where everybody just starts like shooting and flying, and Neil Patrick Harris has like he's just wrong for that role. I love him, but it just doesn't work. And then the very, very, very last moment in the movie, even though they've said that Neo can't fly, but Trinity can, they both are just in their little like, their little capes with their stupid little glasses, and they're just like, and they like fly, and I was like, okay, the Matrix Harry Potter edition. It was so dumb. It was so disappointing. And I am not difficult to please with a movie. Like I am not a born cynic in that sense. I wanted so much to enjoy it, but I was like, that was stupid. Plus I wanted to see so much more character development from other characters in the movie. You know, and hopefully they do something like that, but at the same time, it felt pretty like silly and final. You know, it felt like kind of a little throwaway at the end. I was like, that didn't really leave any opening for a sequel, did it? Okay, I'm going to put on a wee bit of blush here. I think I'm just gonna go Pat McGrath. I'm trying to remember if anything else was annoying about it. Oh, the other thing is, you know, the whole mission is to try and see if they can awaken Trinity because they've been resurrected, right? They were resurrected in these pods, and they're like, well, we have to get Trinity out of her like simulation loop and get her to like, you know, red pill herself or whatever. And then she can rejoin us in this, you know, outer world that we live in or whatever. And we can be in love again. Sure, whatever, you know, they're this dynamic duo. But like, do you really need to save her, or could you just kill her and then resurrect her again? Because you have access to the technology. I just found that it's kind of like Big Daddy in the sense that like the whole movie could have been solved by just calling his dad. We're gonna act like because he's in China, we can't get a hold of him. Oh yeah, I was gonna use the Kimiko blushes. All right, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. This is what it looks like. This is what it does. So supposedly, I'm gonna use the mirror on the cap here, which is absurd. You would end up looking like a fool. And I'm supposed to use this little powder thing to put this on my cheek. You see what it does? That's not gonna work. So you do have to kind of unscrew this and take its little friend out of here, which is harder than it looks. And I got some really, really beautiful shades, and you know what? I can figure out how to use the formula. It's not like you can't get to the blush. It's just silly, especially in a world of wastefulness. Like, you know, we don't need this stupid little powder puff, right? Once that puff is full, what a pretty color. No. I am just barely touching that on my skin. No. See? And it just stamps. And that's all I want to say about that. What a waste of my time and my money. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to use this as an opportunity to demonstrate how my Well People Bio Base Bake Brightener, what is this stuff called? Super powder. Alleviate some of the confusion, although that is heckin' muddy now. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those and I don't really understand. Also, I haven't blended this because of this necklace. My child brought me this necklace this morning. He was just like, this is shiny and small, have this. He knows he's not supposed to have certain things. Boop, 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 boop. Give everything a really nice, consistent color fill in, and I'll let it dry completely, and then I'll go in with the Kimiko. Because the Kimiko has a lot of hold and it makes my brows stand up in like the most model off duty way. Makes me really happy. Like every time I see it in photos, I'm like, heck yeah, those are the brows I've always wanted. Okay, let's spritz myself. Hopefully it'll melt some of that blush down. I gotta figure out how to use a blush that's in a like loose powder situation though, because I want to get use out of those blushes. They're beautiful colors, but like that little Powerpuff ain't it. Would you rather be itchy forever or have hiccups forever? Oh my God, Ingrid. I have familiarity with both of these things because I'm so itchy. I'm itchy all the freaking time. So I would say that I would probably prefer that. Although every time I have the hiccups, man, not only do I freaking hate the hiccups, but I get the most punishing cases of the hiccups. I know I'm like making myself sound like some kind of martyr. I'm like, no one has hiccups as bad as mine, but mine last for so long. And I pretty much only get them when I've eaten too much. And so it's like full belly, and then hiccups. Really? That's what I needed, nature? Thanks so much, diaphragm. Time to spasm. And my poor child has actually, this is looping back to a previous question, my child has also inherited my style of getting the hiccups because he gets them for like 20 minutes at a time and he did it in the womb. I was always like, I'm so sorry, buddy. Okay, so this is the other half of the little Kimiko like duo basically that I bought, and it's just the clear brow gel, and it has such a fabulous level of hold. It doesn't really disturb anything, and then it'll just make my eyebrows stand up. And I have found that I don't have to worry too much about it like flaking, you know? It's like I can build it and it's not gonna turn white or look like glue. It's a great clear brow gel formula. And again, I just love, especially after I've taken all that time to fill my brows in, to be able to go back in with a product that will give me definition. Yeah. Okay, let's just, you know, do what I always do with my freaking lips and just put a balm on. This is the Beauty Pie Wonder Gloss Collagen Lip Oil. Oh, you know what I haven't used is highlighter. Liquid lip balm, vanilla scented. It's just so good. Okay, okay, bye. I can't stop using this way. It's just so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts on these products now. So, like I said, I've been loving the Chanel foundation with the body sauce. I think it's an absolute winner chicken dinner. It just really dovetails so nicely into the rest of my routine. I am fully hating my cheeks right now. Fully hating them. They are so muddy. They are so gross. And there's no really coming back from that. You know, it's just like a really cakey situation. And I don't think that this is a bad formula. I just think it is a very dumb delivery system. It's just stupid. The little powder puff is dumb. The eyeshadow palette, this is really, it took a minute to grow on me because it doesn't behave like anything that I've been using lately. It's a lot more pigmented. It's a lot more kind of like makeup artist owned than I have come to expect. Like it's nothing like Chanel or Gucci. When we're talking about eyeshadow formulas, it's very much like this extreme pigmentation, especially on the mattes. Everything is meant to be very like impactful. You're not going to go, where did it go? And I think that also it's going to translate really well for that reason on deep skin tones. Oh my God, you know, like I can use this all day long and like make it look all right. But these shades right here the saturation, the richness of them, these primers and everything, there's just something that really speaks to deep skin tones about this. Like, I think it's gonna look really, really extra phenomenal on like medium and deep skin tones. So I genuinely really like this. I appreciate the viewer who tried to send it to me. I appreciate the company who tried to send it to me. I'm glad that I finally got it in my hot little hands, in spite of, I don't know, the universe not wanting me to. And I am officially a believer in the brow duo here from Kimiko. The one thing that I didn't realize when I ordered it was just that like they only have 2 shades. It's a little bit silly, but the brow gel is just clear, and it's been a long time since I have felt compelled to even remark about a clear brow gel formula, but this has hold and it's lightweight and it just looks really fresh. I don't know, it adds texture. They're not just powdered looking anymore. And again, coffee it's a nice shade, and the other one is just kind of like a soft black. They just need more shades. And other than that, I think that's kind of it today. Let's see if there's a question we can close out on. How do I get a single dopamine without spending money or gaining pounds when I'm exhausted? Sex? The power of animal memes, particularly possums and raccoons. Can we just, I am so loving the fact that like 2022 is already becoming the year of the trash panda, the year of like the garbage animals. It just makes me so happy. Because I've always been, you know, a raccoon in disguise. But anyway, yeah, if you're not following me on Instagram, you're missing out on a lot of highly curated possum and raccoon content. And also follow my friend Rocky, Prozac Morris, because she also loves raccoons and posts some, also just some incredibly like deep dive cringy TikTok content that makes me laugh harder than it should. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, even though my cheeks are muddy. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you guys so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.